Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone. We're doing Let's Talk Legendary, and today we'll be talking about Beldross Witherbloom. So Beldross Witherbloom is actually an Elder Dragon from the plane of Arcavios. As most stories about Elder Dragons, there are about 5 of them, which of course they founded Strixhaven. The Witherbloom College is obviously named in honor of Beldross. Beldross has bright eyes, and as you can see in the picture, is a black dragon. Beldross's home is surrounded by dark leaf trees that sort of go around this patch of foliage that gives off a scent of decay. It is said that Beldross has a massive collection of arcane writings, but this collection is protected by glowing spheres which help with the humidity in the air, and that is actually all the information we all know about Beldross at the moment. So Beldross Witherbloom is actually represented in 2 cards. The first card you've seen throughout the whole video is 5 colors in a swamp and a forest. And at the beginning of each player's up, create a 1/1 black-green pest creature token with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life, pay 10 life, on top of all lands you control, activate only once each turn. I could see this card being very good in a draft, but outside of the draft, this is kind of pretty expensive Elder Dragon, but again, goes with the Magic world. Elder Dragons are typically very expensive with great abilities, but overall meaning not much to it. So he's represented in this second card is called Witherbloom Campus. Obviously you can see with the background of the picture, it is referred to him, and the saying goes, mage students are fascinated by the energies of life and death chosen by Witherbloom, the College of Essence Studies. Really cool card. So there are 3 cards that he's associated with. The first one is, you can see, is Witherbloom Apprentice for a swamp and a forest, and it says whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain life for that too. So the second card, as you can see, is associated with is Witherbloom Command, and as you can see in the picture with all those students, so choose 2. So it really ties in with the Witherbloom College at the University of Strixhaven. A really cool story arc right there. And the last card he's totally associated with is Witherbloom Pledge Mage. Look at the picture, and the saying goes, death is reality, just a trance of energy. Those pests I, a harvester, have the honor of becoming pure magic. What could be more beautiful? So it goes to saying with the Witherbloom College, and this guy is learning from that. And that is all the information and the cards we have on this guy. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone, and today we're doing Let's Talk Legendary. And we're going to be doing that little annoying critter, Blex, the good old vexing pest. So Blex is actually a pest from the plane of Arcavios. Blex is, as you can guess, is from the Witherbloom College of Strixhaven. Pests at the college have short lives and treated very well. The reason for this is that their life force of these animals are used eventually for casting some kind of spell. Blex has showed some quite intelligent and actually hid some of his food until it was his time to be taken. When the student went in to grab for Blex, Blex actually threw some of his food onto the student's face. Because of that situation, Blex took advantage of it and vanished into the undergrowth. Now, with new students coming into the Witherbloom, as a joke, their job is to capture this pest, and then that escaped. Of course, no one has ever been able to successfully capture Blex, but there have been few chances where it's been very close. And that's all the information we have him on this time. So Blex is actually represented in 1 card, himself. It says other pests, bats, insects, snakes, and spiders you control get +1/+1. When Blex dives, you gain 4 life. So that's really cool for a 3 mana, 3/2, and you get all that abilities. I can see this card getting very expensive in the future. And then there's actually this 1 card that's associated with him, which is Search for Blex. As described, when the students join the Witherbloom College, they have to find him. So in this picture, it's really cool. Search for Blex for 4 mana. It says, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put any number of them into your hand and the rest into your grab. You lose 3 life for each card you put into your hand this way. So that's really cool for 4 mana. It's basically a good old tutor. So there's more videos on the channel. I hope you like this video, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone, and today we're doing Let's Talk Legendary. Today we'll be talking about Dinah, the Soul Steeper. So Diana is a dryad from the plane of Arcavios. She goes to the College of Witherbloom at the University of Strixhaven. Dina speaks her mind without holding back, regardless of what my people think. She tends to do a lot of jokes, which tend to be more of like on the darker side of things. She is very attentive, making her an excellent tutor, giving her the appearance of being quite witted and confident. Her teaching methods are more abnormal than one in her position would do, since she is a dryad who always wears lots of clothing with the colors black, brown, and green, where she spends a lot of her time in Sedgemoor. Dina has no family and carries a salamander-like pest to help her with her channel her magic. Fortunately, a disease known as the brittle blight appeared where she was born. It would give animals, people, despair in their minds. Some would lay down and sleep and never get up again. No one in Arcavios could figure out how to deal with this or its origins. So Dean Lysette arrived in the glade where the disease was and rescued Diana before she was infected. After being a student for a while, she started to research into forbidden resurrection spells to revive the glade where she came from. One such ingredient she needed was the root from the Essus tree. Because the Essus tree was not on Arcavios, then she began to study rituals on how to travel from one plane to another. The spell was too powerful for her to do, so if she didn't follow correctly, she would actually suffer some kind of painful fate. After all that, she found some of the root in the potions classroom of Professor Onks. So she went ahead to start the experiment, as of course she was performing this as a wayward bolt of silver quill ink magic interfered with the process. The silver quill was thrown by Killian Liu, who was actually his father, who sentenced him to the detention bog. This horrible experiment created a swamp creature that is destroying all living things. It went straight for Strixhaven due to all the magic that was there. Diana and Killian managed to defeat the monster, with Killian being seriously injured. Diana had a little bit of that resurrection still and used it to actually heal him instead of the glade, and that is all the information we have her at this time. So she's represented in one card, which you've seen throughout the video, is Diana Soulsteeper. For that one swamp and forest, it's a 1/3, and it says whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Then for 1 mana, you can sacrifice another creature, which is pretty, at the time of this video, is very, very common in the black-green standard set. So this card is very powerful and really cool. So Diana is actually depicted in several cards, this one being Deadly Brew, as you can see in the picture. That's her, and the saying is, no one ever asked what was in Diana's concoction, so long as they worked. So, as long as it worked, that's pretty standard. This card is pretty cool for an uncommon because it costs only 2 to bring each player sacrifices a creature or planeswalker, and you can bring that permanent back to your hand from your graveyard if you sacrifice the permanent. Next card she's depicted in is Hunt for Specimens. Create a 1/1 black-green token, and when it dies, you gain 1 life. It has that learn ability, so look at that picture. That's 100% her. Next card she's depicted in is Infused with Vitality, and if you look in the story, basically that's when she gave up the last of the Force to save him. So it says, Diana raised her cup to Killian's lips. For the first time in his life, he knew compassion. And again, with the storyline, this fits very perfect with this kind of card. So Diana is actually quoted or referred to in 2 cards as in natural order for this series. It says, nature is neither cruel nor kind, it operates on necessity, not sentiment. Diana Weatherbloom, Mage Student. And the last card Diana is quoted or referred to is Unwilling Ingredient. It says, don't look at me like that. It was either this or being eaten by a gruff. So it's kind of funny with a bit of sense of humor from Diana. And if you like this video, there's more on my channel, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is RuneSnow, and today we're doing Let's Talk Legendary. Today we'll be talking about Eska, the god of the World Tree. So Eska is the goddess from Kaldheim, who is a green-aligned god of the World Tree. She knows more about the World Tree and the cosmos, even more than Alrun. She is able to communicate with the cosmos in ways that even other gods do not understand. She has been in every realm and knows how all of them connect to the World Tree. Because of her understanding of the World Tree, she created the Cosmos Elixir, which is made from the sap of the tree. The Cosmos Elixir is what gives the gods their immortality. She's the only one that knows how to make the elixir and will not show it to anyone who wants to make it. She and her sister Tergrid came into existence when Alrun used his ruin magic on the World Tree. When Vorinclex was on Kaldheim, he was able to find Eska's sanctum. Of course, he mauled the goddess and she started to pass away. As she was dying, she saw him take a piece of the Tyrite before returning to Nephyrexia. And that is actually all the information we have on her right now. So she's actually represented in 1 card, as you've seen throughout the video, is the God of the Tree for 1 colors and 2 forests, and it's a 1/4. Has Vigilance and says add 1 mana of any color. Other legendary creatures you control have Vigilance and add 1 mana. So that's a really cool card in general, regardless of it being a god in general. So there's actually 3 cards that she's associated with. The first card here, as you can see, is Cosmos Elixir, which costs 4 colorless. And it says the Skadi owe their immortality to the elixir, and the manner of its creation is their most closely guarded secret. The second card she's associated with is pretty obvious. It says it's her chariot. Costs 3 colors and a forest for that 4/4 with a crew of 4. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/2 green cat tokens. So those cat tokens make that crew for 4. And whenever it attacks, create a token that's a copy of target token you control. So it's basically you bring out those cat tokens all the time. And the last card she's actually associated with is the Prismatic Bridge, which of course she's in charge of, and it's the flip card from when she's the god. And it says Starnheim awaits, because that's what she's guarding. So the last card she's actually depicted in is Revitalized for this series, and it says Eskaz alone knows how to distill the essence of the world tree into the Cosmos Elixir, a magical substance which grants the Skadi god family immortality. So that is all the cards, all the information we have on her at the time. And I hope you like this video, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone, and today we'll be doing Let's Talk Legendary, and today we'll be talking about Lutri, the Spell Chaser. As you can tell by the picture, this little guy is an elemental otter. Lutri is from the plane of Icaro, and also this guy has a reputation of being a little mischievous. Lutri actually stole an arrow once from Vivian Reed's quiver, surprisingly learned how to release the arrow as if the Arpo had shot it, by some unknown means of course. And of course, as soon as Vivian had been able to determine what happened, the otter disappeared under the waves. And that's actually all the information we have on this legendary Lutri character. And as you can imagine, Lutri the Spell Chaser is only represented in one single card, which I really love the artwork. But and believe it or not, this card was banned in Commander. So it has a command, each non-land card in your Death Star deck has a different name. 3/2 for 3 mana. And when Spell Chaser enters the battlefield, if you cast it, copy an instant sorcery spell you control, you may choose new targets. And that is all we have. So if you enjoyed this video, there's more on my channel, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone, and today we'll be doing Let's Talk Legendary, and today we'll be talking about Mavida Sharpbeak, also known as the Student's Advocate. So Mavida's Student's Advocate also goes by the name of Mavida Sharpbeak, as you just heard, who is a bird from the plane of Arcavoios. Mavida is a guidance counselor for the University of Strixhaven. Mavida is a kind and nice person who would help even students with their interpersonal problems. Mavida is someone who should not be underestimated with wields powerful empathetic magic. She uses her magic to calm her students when needed to understand their feelings. If she wishes, she can summon other emotions with the person if needed. When Rowan and Will Kerneth arrive at Strixhaven, Kazma guides them to go find Mavida, and that's actually all the information we have around this time. So Mavida is actually only represented in one card, and one card alone, as you've seen throughout the whole video, for 2 colors and a white, and it's a legendary creature, Bird Advisor, legendary card for flying. So 0 says you may cast a target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard this turn. If that spell doesn't target a creature you control, it costs 8 more to cast this way. If this spell would be put in your grave, exile instead. Activate this only once per turn, obviously for reasons. So if you like this video, there's more on my channel, and I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone. Today we're in Let's Talk Legendary, and today we'll be talking about Mila, the Crafty Companion. So let's start by talking about Mila, who has not a lot of information about her. So Mila is actually a fox from the plane of Arcavos. Mila is a magical fox who likes Luca as a partner on this plane. Mila is capable of summoning flames to protect herself. But for some reason, when Luca arrived on the plane, Mila just started to follow him everywhere. Luca just accepted Mila's presence. Because of Luca's abilities, they created a magical bond, and then the friendship started to begin. One time, Mila actually got stuck under a rock, and Luca got her out from under those rocks, and in return, she always brings him fruits and nuts. When there was actually some kind of confrontation between Luca and Cosma, Cosma actually put Mila in some kind of magical sphere, and we don't know what happened to Mila, but that is all the information we have at the moment. So as you can see, and for obvious reasons, Mila is represented in one card and one card alone. If you flip it, it would be the other one, but right now it's the legendary creature Fox for 2, 3, and white mana. And it says, whenever an opponent attacks with one or more planeswalkers you control, put a loyalty counter on each planeswalker you control. Whenever a permanent you control becomes a target with a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card, which is really cool. So when you flip that card with the association, you get Luca, Wayward Bonder, because of that strong bond that those two share when Luca is on that plane. For 6 mana, it's a 5 Planeswalker. You may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. If you create a creature card, discard it this way. You draw 2 cards instead. Anyway, so this card is really cool with the bonding that they do in the storyline. And that's actually all the information, again, we have on Mila. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening. Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Runestone. Today we're doing Let's Talk Legendary. Today we'll be talking about Premakan, the Sky Rampart. So believe it or not, Premakan is actually a wall. We don't know the birth or the age of this Premakan. Premakan is also known as the Sky Rampart, as you can see in the card. Supposedly Premakan is from a mysterious plane of an unknown origins that is shrouded in mist. It is said that when Premakan raises from the ocean, it has no end. It would stretch forever in every direction. Anyone who looks and approaches this wall will lead that person to some kind of unknown location, as if some unseen hand is making them do this. And that is all the information we have on the Sky Rampart. So you can imagine that Premakan Sky Rampart is only represented in one card, and that's the one that's been in this video. So for 1 blue mountain and plains, it's a 1/5 legendary creature wall. Picture is very impressive. I like that. I like the gold legendary wall. Anyway, it's a flying defender, and when it enters the battlefield, choose left or right. Each player may attack only with the nearest opponent in the chosen direction, and Planewalker is controlled by the opponent. Again, it goes with the story about the wall going in every direction. So again, really cool card, really cool concept. And that is all we have. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.